What's going on, everybody? This is John with First Direct. I was just taking a quick break from a lot of the cold calls that I've been doing today. And I just wanted to, as I've been going through Cardone University, number one, just the training side itself, but also the weekly calls, the daily calls of running through a script, of practicing and role playing, those types of things. I still feel like I'm kind of on the, just starting on the junior varsity field, especially when I hear these guys watching them across the way, on the varsity field or on the track or whatever, and just looking at them going like, holy cow. I mean, they're so smooth. They're so excellent. They have great feedback, when I try to do like a role play or whatever too. But one of the things that just kind of keeps coming back in my mind is like, hey, it's not personal. Like when someone's on the other line and they may be having a bad day or whatever, yeah, I'm going through, yeah, I might be getting a lot of negativity, but that's why having that attitude up front is so critical. It's so important. And I'm really understanding that. Even when I get down, I go back and, take a look at the goals that I have written down, remind myself why it is that I'm doing that in the first place. And sometimes, I'll call, I know this sounds crazy, but sometimes if there's numbers that I know that have been disconnected and I just get off a bad call, instead of just taking a break or walking away or whatever and developing a habit of removing myself from it, even though I know that maybe the dial that I'm calling isn't necessarily the right one, I'll go ahead and dial that incorrect number and then dial another one. And then I'll get right back into it, and at least have another phone call that I can do and say, you know what, I'll take a break after I lean into it. So rather than actually pulling myself back from a bad call, I try to lean into keeping that dial up. And it's been helping my mindset just by keeping that activity level going. And then maybe getting on the phone call, 3 or 4 phone calls down the road and getting on one and then taking a break and then give myself 5 minutes, come right back, read my goals and get right back into it. I got my daily scorecard, I got the numbers, I got my notes, I got everything that I need. But it ain't personal. And one thing that David Robard said this morning was, when you're setting your hook, when you're actually delivering your message, when you have your big claim and you're setting your hook, you want it to, even though they're having a bad day, your positivity and your great attitude, even if they're hanging the phone up on you, even when they're pissed, in the back of their mind, there's still something that goes, that actually sounded somewhat interesting. And then you have to continue to do the follow-up and stuff too. So it ain't personal when people are doing that right now. As we're busy doing calls, I've already, put in quite a few for the day. And I'm going to be rounding out my day with 125 calls, minimum. And I'm going to be doing that every single day, pretty much this week, with the exception maybe of Friday. And the thing is, it ain't personal. Everyone's just trying to get to, they're pushing a lot of things off. But there's always some of those people that right now that they know maybe some of their bills aren't even going to get paid by the end of the month. They still have to be hustling right now. They still have to be doing. So the product that I have, the one that actually allows them to fix their data up front, is a necessary product. I'm just going out and finding those. I go from one call where a person's like, absolutely not, I don't need anything what you got. Even though in my mind, I know, I'm like, you probably could use exactly what I have. And I get on another phone call and I'm able to produce exactly what the person needs on that one. Again, it's just putting in the repetition. It's that frequency before the greatness that comes. I'm not going to be able to close every single deal that's on the phone, even though, in my mind, that's my goal, that's my intent every time that I pick up the phone. It's just interesting that you can't take it personal when somebody else is having, a bad day. Maybe they're not even having a bad day. I certainly appreciate when people are kind to me, but even though they might be kind, it still doesn't produce the result maybe that I want out of it. People are just trying to get to their Christmas season right now. Some places they're slow, some places they're not. Some of the bosses are taking vacation, you name it. And so they're just pushing it off, because at the end of the day, you're interrupting it. When I'm calling somebody, I am interrupting their day, and they simply just don't want to be interrupted. Maybe they just don't want to take a phone call today. Cardone talks about, Grant says that on average, people make 8 phone calls a day in their life. On average, I mean, that's 8 calls a day that average people are making. That's just the way that it is. I'm calling somebody and interrupting them in their day at work, the last thing they want to do, even if they are cold calling other people to build business, the last thing that they want is to be interrupted by another call that might be coming in. I mean, great, it's a call. If it's someone that's paying me, awesome. Hey, I can do that. They're interested. I didn't have to do any of the work for it. But if I'm getting called and it's interrupting and now I'm being sold on something, yeah, of course they're going to have some pushback, and that's to be expected. But if you have the right product, again, it keeps making more and more sense that it is only ethical to keep following up. It is only ethical to keep pushing to make sure that your best product that you know can change people's lives, change people's businesses, you know that it's unethical for you not to share, not to follow up. You have to be doing those things. And that's something that I just keep going back to again and again and again. In my mind, even when I'm having a tough time picking up the phone or whatever the case might be, just trying to keep leaning into it. You know, I feel like I'm still in the JV field looking and moving towards playing on a varsity level and getting just as good as those guys and just coming back every day, day after day. So with that, I just want to take a quick break, at least share some of the insights that I have, you know, personally as I'm going through this. And I kind of feel a little bit nostalgic because this is exactly where I used to do homework growing up as well, going through middle school and high school in my old room with my kids here, with my wife here, hanging out with the family and stuff for the holidays. So certainly appreciate that. It's been awesome. But it's a little bit nostalgic, but at the same time, I know that I'm putting in a lot more work now than I did back then for sure. So, but anyway, hey guys, this is John with First Direct. If you need anything for data, for lists, for getting out there, making cold calls, doing marketing, doing the things that you know that you need to drive traffic, even if you want the CIA, nerd magic stuff that we have, that CIA level nerd magic that we do, we can certainly talk about that. But at the end of the day, if you just need a simple list, that's what I've been calling most people about, because honestly, that is probably one of the simplest things, most cost-effective things that people can be getting done right now before they get started for January 2021, is getting insights into who their target market is and then getting after it, whether that's phone calls, whether that's putting it into an email campaign, whether that's building a digital audience out of that list. Everything comes from that list itself. So if you need anything at all, reach out to me. Let me know. I'll be doing more live streams and stuff all this week. Just letting you know my thoughts and just keeping this as a record for people to watch myself grow a little bit, but also just to put it out to you. If there's anything that I can give that's encouragement to you, I want to be able to do that for you as well. So, hey, get out there, get after it. Let's make your dreams come true. That's what I'm out here doing for me and my family as well, building business, learning as much as I can, and trying to be of value to the market. So with that, take care, guys. I'll see you. Peace.